Which
Good.
day?
I know that's right. Hump day.
Someday.
Yeah, yeah. As what's the name? The football player, tall guy on. I forget his name. He's defensive end on Today's Show. He's big on that hump day.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I forget his name. He got a clothing line.
Hmm.
Uh,
What is his name? Not Howie Long. Was it Howie Long?
no,
Oh,
no.
Michael Strahan.
Michael Strahan. Yeah, yeah. He's big.
Exactly.
Russ,
Hey, how you doing, Arthur?
I'm good, sir. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Michelle?
Hi,
Michelle, how are you?
Michelle.
You're still on mute. We can't hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Mr.
William.
Johnson, how are you, sir?
Hey,
All right. Hi, Ross
Tim.
Oh, people
and
starting.
Arthur, Timothy.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Hey,
Tim.
Timothy.
Come on, government name. Ross, will Lorraine or James join the call?
Yeah, they fully should be. I spoke with them earlier, so they should be chiming in any time now.
Okay, we'll wait on them before we get started.
Please do.
And I believe Stacy Marshall agreed to join the call too.
Okay.
I am unmuted. Yay.
Yay!
Yay, Michelle.
I'm here.
You doing all right today, Michelle?
Doing great. Just popping off another meeting. It is back to back to back. That's all.
I know the feeling, girl.
Yeah, it's been a busy meeting. Busy meeting day.
Trying to get them in for the holidays, huh?
Yep, trying to get it all in before the end of the week and next week.
I hear you.
I believe that's Andre McEwing. So Trojans here. Fort Worth Black Chambers here. Oak Global's here. We have one of three members from Historic Southside, and I'll text Stacy to see if he can join us, and then we'll get started.
Okay.
And if y'all hear my son in the background, this is his live season. So hopefully he won't barge into the room. He knows
How
how.
old is he?
He's 20 months.
Okay.
He told me no for the first time and meant it today.
Okay.
I don't know how I felt about that. That was interesting. Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully we won't find a. Hopefully he won't open the door. He's starting to rotate doors now too.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Exactly. That part.
Yeah. We want to encourage that freedom of speech and being able to socialize.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Whoa. What is that? Well, I know I spoke to James about 30 minutes ago, so I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get in a place where he can chime in.
Okay. We'll give him another minute or two.
Okay.
Oh, we'll wait. Do you want us to wait on both of them, Ross?
Yeah. I mean, being that
I agree.
I'm the assistant, so yeah, it would be good if we can get them on board. The way that I can.
Yeah,
Two phones. Yeah.
maybe you can text them. See if they're coming.
Okay. Let me see if I know how to do that. Oh. Okay. What did I just? James is saying he is waiting.
Who's waiting to get in?
Yeah, I said we're waiting, and he said trying to get on. He said, "Oh, Miss Lorraine said trying to get on." James says waiting as well. Okay,
You see him
so
in the meeting waiting room, man?
let me see. And
You're on mute, Matt. There's Lorraine.
There she is. I just sent them a text. They weren't in the waiting room, but hey, Miss Lorraine.
You're on mute.
okay,
There you are. Hi, Lorraine.
Is James going to join us? I think I sent the link to that text feed.
you're still on mute, Miss Lorraine.
Yeah.
Is James going to join us?
Oh, I
You
think
know?
so. I thought he was already on. He
Mm-mm.
was trying to get on a minute ago.
Okay, I just sent the link to the text feed again.
Okay.
Thanks for the clarification, Andre.
So,
All right, there he is. All right.
okay.
James, do I have you, James?
Yes.
Yeah, how you doing, Chief?
I'm doing all right, man.
Good deal, good deal. Let's get. I like to respect you all's time. I know this was a impromptu meeting. It's 3:39, but I wanted all of us to huddle up because I saw Miss Lorraine's email of the brief meeting for tomorrow. I also have heard on some rumblings, nothing confirmed, of a letter of unsupport of Hope Global in this extension, the project. I know that was alluded to in our November meeting, and so I want this to serve as a clarification even more, and just a huddle up of all of us to give a last last bit of education from our end so that we can clear the air, but most importantly, to show that we are in good faith, not only with time, but we've invested resources and have moved forward in the process. And so with us, we do have Michelle Green Ford and William Johnson from the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber. As soon as I communicated with them separately during this process, and when I heard of the troubling state of the neighborhood association, I called her immediately, and I think that prompted a call to you, Miss Lorraine. And the spirit of this is so that we can all get together and know that we're all on one team getting this project done. But we don't want to. I don't want to cause any type of unnecessary drama, whether it's at the political side or just within the Fort Worth community side based on miscommunication. So I wanted all of us to be on the call today to clear the air. We've attempted to do so not only in our economic development committee meetings, but we've also have tried to meet as well. But I still want us, I think that we're still not on the same page. And so this is very intentional. And I want the historic neighborhood, the historic Southside neighborhood to know exactly what's happened so that you all can have confidence that things are moving forward on this project. All right.
All right.
Good deal. So the first thing, when I saw that there was a brief message, it would just be a brief agenda.
Matt, real
Yeah.
quick question. Who's all on this call?
I've already stated it. We have Historic Southside with you all three. We
Right.
have Michelle Green Ford and William Johnson from the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber. We have
Mhm.
Hope Global with Arthur Santa Maria and Stephen Shelley. And then we have Trojan Commercial Real Estate with Andre and Tim Williams, who we selected as our commercial real estate brokers. So they were the one of three individuals who applied, went through the process, interview process, and was selected for the project.
Okay, and I think in your text message you said somebody from Southeast Inc. was going to be on.
Yeah, I said I invited Stacy Marshall. He confirmed, but I haven't seen him on the call yet.
Okay.
All right. Good deal. So I noticed in the email that I heard there will be a quick meeting tomorrow. Y'all can keep the quick meeting. I don't want to intervene on you all's agenda. But typically, it seemed like there wasn't a spirit of hearing our updates on our side. And so I wanted us to at least articulate and communicate that before there was anything definitive said at tomorrow's meeting. And so that kind of threw a red flag on my end. I do remember hearing you all's frustration in November about the process of this. Since then, we met at Wicked Butcher with you, Ross, with Lorraine, as well as Tim, Timothy. And so to clear the air, I thought that was a favorable meeting. I didn't know that.
Oliver.
Thomas Oliver. Sorry, I apologize. I was mistaken with Tim Williams. Thomas Oliver. I think I saw him in the background of James's computer, by the way. And so I apologize. And so I still want to, I think that there's still questions. And so I wanted to know if the concerns on the whole global side, or if it's just the process in general, so that we can see how we can move forward.
Well, I'll start it off, I guess. To answer your question, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think it's all in the same to me personally, because you guys are running the process, and from what we have gathered, the process, I guess you can just say, just to be blunt, it just really hadn't been moving forward. It hadn't been moving forward, I guess, to everyone's expectations from the start of this back in 2019.
Okay, could you give us some data on things that you say that we've dropped the ball on? You alluded that we haven't done anything, that we haven't done what we said we would do. Could you give us some data on that?
I mean, what I mean, I can say we haven't even purchased the land. We can start there.
So let's go back, because you've said that, I guess, for over a year now in this process, and we've clarified that the land purchase, one, it's owned by the city, with the exception of one lot. And I think we did say that that's under contract. Stephen, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but the city land, all of that is within the process as we move forward through not only completing the permitting, but also all of the other studies. So the purchase of the land has never been an issue. What I have heard from you all was that there were no certainties or guarantees that Hope Global is willing to commit financially to move forward with this project. And in our discussions, we stated how we have invested millions of dollars in planning, as well as adjusting our plans based on what the community has said since 2019, so that we can have something that is of the community. Also, starting in May, when we understood that we discovered that there was a miscommunication with the community and the contractors. We created a process in which we can be much more transparent, which resulted in a meeting at the late of June, in which we agreed to look for another contractor, a GC. We did state then that will take time and money. We spent over 6 figures in counseling that contract. And we've picked up another GC who have already started the process, them and their team, not only to work with the City of Fort Worth Diversity and Inclusion, but they have already engaged in creating an easy how-to guide so that community members can log on to their platforms. Those are the things that was that's been set in motion. That was also within the timeline we stated in late June, early July that it'll take. We were able to get that done by the end of this year. And that contractor met with the city last week with Gwen Wilson, so that we can have they can be aware of the construction company's process of inclusion. We've also agreed to write we're doing a joint press release in the first of the year, so that we can announce Trojan as well as CBG Builders as our contractors, in which a community advocacy organization, Demetria Bivens, actually brought them to the table. So we're doing everything in an inclusive, community-driven way. And so I just want to clarify that data point. If the real estate was the issue, the real estate is tied into everything else with the city, and we have done everything on the whole Global's end. Arthur or Stephen, is there anything I omitted or I said erroneously?
No, just to put a finer point on the land acquisition. The land is part of what the city is contributing to the project. Our purchase price for the land is $30. If that's a concern for anybody, I'll write a $30 check. We'll put $30 cash on the barrel, whatever it takes there. I don't think that's a practical concern for the city or for us. But if there's a misunderstanding about the land acquisition, I hope that clears it up.
Yeah, no,
I think the land acquisition was just one part.
Oh, we're listening. We want to answer every question.
absolutely.
Now, but before we get to that point, did that answer the real estate portion of the concern?
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm just.
You answered the question, which is fine. I mean, you guys have been, just to be frank, I mean, I don't want to be all political, but just to be frank, Matt, you guys have been answering questions since we started this. Answering the questions has not been our issue.
So what's the issue?
Our issue is just actually that the project hadn't been going anywhere.
So that's where I want to clarify, because if we're answering questions and we're moving forward, it's not congruent to things not moving anywhere. What I do understand is that dirt has not been moved. That we both agree on. And we all stated that our goal is to do that by as soon as possible from the city, from my conversations with the city. And I believe we stated this to you all at Wicked Butcher. We were looking for Q2, May, June to break ground. But the groundbreaking is not on our end, if that's the concern.
Well, that was because the last time we all had a meeting with Robert Stearns were included over at the BAC.
Yeah, June 29th.
Yes, he stated that you guys are not waiting on the city. The city was already ready. Do you remember that conversation?
No, the city, he's been staying there for the last.
I'm just saying,
No. Listen, James.
I'm asking a question.
I'm about to answer it, James. I'm about to answer.
Did he not say that?
James, may I answer the question?
Yes.
Okay. Since 2022, there's always been communication from James saying they are already ready to go. That's been very consistent.
You said from
James. He even hold on. Let me finish answering my question. From Robert Stearns, from the city standpoint. He's always said the city's been ready to go. We've always said we're ready to go. In that meeting, June 29th, he said that, we said that. We also stated what needed to have been done in order to move forward. That is definitely creating a new general contractor in which we have moved and went through that process so that we can do that. So they not only said that, we also oblige from what we're doing. So
And even
Everyone's
even with the general contractor situation, which that rabbit hole runs so deep that, you know, with you guys picking Cadence to be the general contractor, I just don't think you guys did your due diligence before you even picked them. And I don't even think that light would have been shined if we wouldn't have had that meeting, that they had already picked contractors and people that they already was going to use that had nothing to do with what was being discussed by us from a community. So
Well,
you got so many, I mean, we got so many issues here that we can go over, but is that really what we're doing right now?
That's exactly what we're doing, because our spirit is to clarify the air. Ross,
James.
I did see your hand. I did see your hand, Ross. Go ahead.
Matt,
Yes.
let me, just my take on it. In
Mhm.
our last meeting, we had to be accountable to the people that are in our association. I'm not a cussing man, but right now, our constituency are mad as HELL. So
I agree.
we agreed to put it to a vote, to put you guys at no confidence. Now, we haven't sent you that letter, but our next stage was to consult with the city before moving forward. You found out before we did, and I commend you in what you did, but you did one thing that I'm not in agreement with. You got the chamber on the line. You got us as a citizen on the line. You got yourself on the line. That's the 3 C's. But you have no one on this line from the city, which is the 4th C.
I
And
got
I've
you.
told you in the very beginning that this is a pet peeve of mine. If we got any issues, things that we're going to be able to resolve, all 4 C's have to be at the table. So we're letting you know right now, that's where we stand.
No,
We're not happy. We're not happy with the fact that going into the next year, and you guys, as far as what's funding, when it comes down to when we found out that it goes to June, July, we're telling you now that's unacceptable. So what we're going to have to do is what we were intending to do. Me, James, Miss Lorraine was going to contact the city and see what their take is on it before we called the 4 C's together. You just so happened to find out about what happened in our meeting. It leaked out. So I commend you for doing it, but where's the city person?
So I'm glad you said that, Ross, because you're absolutely right. You stated that in our May meeting.
Yes, sir.
And you followed up with that in our joint meeting with the city. I did invite Councilman Nettles to this call, so I did invite the 4C here as well. He did not confirm. So when James asked who was going to be in attendance, I did not add them on the confirmation list. But I called them as well, including Robert Stern and Chris Nettles, once after talking to Michelle Green Ford earlier this week. And so I am very aware and sensitive to make sure all of us are on the call. Now, with that being said, because I've assembled 3 of the 4 C's, I don't think that constitutes a lack of confidence for Hope Global. Now, you can have lack of confidence for the process, but when you throw Hope Global in here, you are essentially putting us on the hook for something that we're not, that we're unjustly are being accused of. And from my opinion, you all can have your opinions. So I
understand. You said a mouthful right then. We can have our opinion. That's what we're feeling right now.
Right.
And that's what we are. So you are saying that your position is, what the heck's going on with us? Why did that letter or that information get to you? And so you're trying to rally the troops together so we can sit down and talk. But we got a piece missing from the table.
I understand that.
So you're probably not going to get everything you need today.
Well, no, that's fine. What I don't want us to do, based on the meeting, based on how a couple of our economic development committee meetings have happened in the last several months, I don't want to be ambushed, and I want us to operate in a spirit of participation, collaboration, and of trust. And what I felt was tomorrow's meeting would be, it's a brief meeting. We are showing no confidence. We don't need to discuss about Hope Global anymore. We're going to move on. That's my ultimate fear. That wasn't said that was going to happen. No one accused me of that. I'm connecting dots based on experiences that's happened in the last month and us trying to reach out from when I heard James Walker in our November meeting state that you all may write a letter of no confidence for Hope Global. And we proactively set some meetings up so that we can clarify that. So that's the position that I'm in.
Matt.
Yes.
Let me, you assume you hear what you want to hear. If you have been paying attention to our meetings, yes, our Economic Development Committee meetings, if we do, Whole Global is a slice. We have a neighborhood that we're trying to bring economic development to beyond, and I've said this several times in our meetings. Yes, we want the Evans Avenue project to go on, but we have to do other things to attract business to the neighborhood. That's why we've been talking about beautification.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we've been talking about trying to recruit other businesses to come into the neighborhood. That's, you're not the end all to be all. Now, be perfectly honest, and James and Ross will tell you, I have problems with you guys hosting the call for our economic development because it doesn't give us the independence to talk frankly about other things, not Evans Avenue, because we're trying to have other things going on beyond Evans Avenue. It will complement, we hope, Evans Avenue, but in order to get some of the things done that we needed to do, we had to have some real hard internal discussions among us as committee members about what do we do and how we go about doing it. And so that's where we are. We're about the total community. It's not about the Evans Avenue project totally in our economic development meetings.
Ms. Lorraine, if I may, Matt, if you don't mind. So I completely hear you, Ms. Lorraine, Ross, and James. You know, I guess where we're not kind of connecting all the dots are, you know, is how, you know, a letter of non-support for the project, you know, helps to further the, you know, the goals for the neighborhood and the community, you know, particularly given, you know, just where, you know, an investor, right, a group that's bringing considerable investment, you know, this is a $90+ million project, you know, has gone through, you know, just, you know, tremendous stakes to try to, you know, do something that's not happened for decades, and despite as many efforts as has been made. You know, there's certainly this project's taken a long time. You know, we're feeling the huge brunt of that. I wouldn't say the biggest because the community lives it every day, but you know, there's dollars spent out, you know, and opportunity costs, however you want to analyze it. It's, you know, we're out millions of dollars at this point, but we're committed. You know, you know, every time that there's been a something to change the design or, you know, just the direction things are gone, or, you know,
I hear you, and I don't want to interrupt. I hear from your perspective, you guys have made a tremendous investment financially, but we sit here as a community. We offered a letter in 2019. Here we are, 2023, about to go into 2024, and nothing's. I mean, even given grace with 2 years of a pandemic, and then we see, and it makes it difficult when you see other projects in Fort Worth that are moving. They were conceived after the Evans Avenue project. They're not only are they the conception is done, they're in the construction phase.
Yeah, but those haven't been, you know, knocked down for their design and told to start over, you know, which we've had that.
I don't want, and I think what Arthur is alluding to is in the middle of this project, we've had community input because of this, because of the process starting in 2019, we're being very intentional to have community input in this space. We've in this project, we had several different phases or different project
Concept design.
the concept designs that the community did not approve, and we
get to
changed
start
them
over
during this process. And we stated at that time that took longer, and we've been transparent with that.
Okay.
I also want to add, Ms. Lorraine, I don't I don't think that this Evans and Rosedale is the one all be all of this entire thing. That's not my assumption. My assumption was because I use technology, because Mike Hoke wants to create a catalytic project in nature, he wanted me to create a system so that we can create communication with as many players as possible and do something that hasn't been done. And so this was why we did the meeting. You all are free to do whatever you like with the historic South Side. I never wanted to infringe on that because I feel that, one, I just respect y'all way too much. Two, I understand you all's frustration. And three, I know that there still needs to be a need for independence, particularly when there are new players coming in. So that is on the top of my mind every time we interact.
But man,
And
we wanted you to be partners with us. That's how we.
And so that's why that's our overture of communicating. But I don't feel that partnership is reciprocated based on a lot of the issues that's happened in the past and the unsatisfaction that you don't see anything happening up. And so I stated in the November meeting and in the past, I totally understand all of those frustrations. But to say that things aren't being done is erroneous. It's just not accurate.
But okay, but we don't have a project that's going on. I mean, nothing. There's nothing visible that people can see.
Right, and the reason why is because, well, I want to go back to the Cadence McShane. That was an agreement made 2 years prior. So it was during the pandemic, and I'll be transparent with all of you all. I wasn't a part of this process. We didn't think of making it an integrated process because the agreement that Hope Global had was to create a project as soon as possible. And Mike was using his relationships of GCs, which Cadence McShane, he has a relationship with Cadence McShane, so that we can have a GC to make this happen. When we realized it was not working with the community well, we extended our project timeline so that we can appeal to not only the community, but also to the city, because we want to do more things.
I beg to differ with you on Candace McShane. I mean, you guys, as you already said, that you had a prior agreement with them. It only became a problem. We knew nothing about Candace McShane. We thought we were having a meet and greet for our local contractors. Lo and behold, when we pointed out, Shazam, why bring all these people down here for a show and tell when the contractors already recruited 1,000 people already? He said that.
So he did state that. Some of those 1,000 individuals who were in the room at that meet and greet, who are community contractors, for the record. But when we discovered that they weren't willing to create a process to open it up to local community contractors or people who are not used to going.
When did y'all discover that, Matt? Because that was already done. That was already done.
James, let me finish, please.
What they
finish, please. James, let me finish my statement, and then I'll answer your question. When we discovered that their process was not going to be open to the community members who were once specifically in the historic South Side or were not accustomed to doing this process, we saw that was problematic, and we listened to the community. Then we realized that they weren't going to change their process to do that. And that's when we discovered That's when we broke our relationship to seek another one. Now, James, I will answer your question. What were you saying?
I was just wondering, when did you guys notice that? Because it appeared that Cadence had already picked out who they wanted to use, and according to them, it seems like you guys already knew
No,
that they was the people that we have already picked out. They was like, moving forward. I mean, that whole day was unbelievable.
So that the context from Cadence Machine that day was stating that they have 1,000 minority businesses that they've worked with before, and
That's
James,
not what he was saying.
James, I know that. So that was an error. That's why they're no longer RGC, because that was off-putting to us as well.
Well,
And
you know what? But Matt, that I just beg to differ.
I know
That was something that, as a neighborhood association, we said up front, we want our people, our neighborhood people, to be involved in the construction and the building of this thing. That was said from jump. That was way back when we had the meeting over at the at Dr. Brooks's clinic here on Rosedale. That was years ago.
I agree. I agree with that. And Cadence McShane showed that they had a group of contractors. Some are from the community that they've done work with. I shouldn't say community.
Yeah, because
people that were at the meeting. Some people that were at that meeting in June 14th have done work with Cadence McShane before. And so, but it wasn't welcoming to new community members to join the project. And that was problematic. We tried to find a solution so that we can open it up. Cadence McShane was not willing to do that. And we terminated that project because we heard the community and we heard you all.
So do you guys not know who they picked before y'all set up the meeting?
We did not have. So what they were saying, they worked with the city of Fort Worth, and the city of Fort Worth and Cadence McShane was going through the diversity and inclusion process. And they were saying they have a group of people that they can disseminate that through the city of Fort Worth so they can get the work done. That was the context of that. It wasn't specific.
Matt, with you working closely with us week after week after week, we probably kind of thought maybe you would have checked the list to ensure that somebody from the community was on their list. So that kind of got.
I agree with you on that. So we were going to that next stage of the process when we realized they were not willing to extend that. There were people who are members of the chamber, I don't want to put anyone out, of the community advocacy organizations, Black community advocacy organizations, who was on that list for Cadence McShane. So from their viewpoint, they thought they were checking the box, but that wasn't good enough for this project. That's not what we were looking for. We were looking for more catalytic, helping the community. And with that miscommunication, they thought that they would be able to just continue with the development process. But Mike Hoke said, no, we want to do this right by the community. And we stated that at the June 29th meeting, and we were following suit to find the contractor because, James, I believe I asked you at one point, or I asked anyone, I asked a lot of people if they had the capacity to be a GC. And so not saying, and it wasn't an official ask. It was informally asking. So I don't want to put any of that, put you on blast on any of that. I say all of that to say, we've been looking at all avenues to see who can be a GC. This GC has agreed to work and build relationships with new individuals so that they can be a part of this construction project. And that's what we're moving forward with.
2019 to 2023.
No, I understand. I understand your frustration.
Arthur and James, where do we could sit here and bat this around till the cows come home. So where do we go from here?
Well, I don't know. Matt called the meeting, so I was basically like you guys getting on here just to see what Matt had to say. That's why we're here.
I'm still waiting. So what I want to do is continue to hear your grievances so that we can address it in a
I
public
don't-
and on the
Matt,
record. Well,
but Matt,
Get the rules. Yeah.
hold up, Matt, there's no grievances.
Okay.
At all. We kind of, we'd have talked about this. We don't have any grievances. We're
Okay.
just kind of here just to hear, your point of view, hear what, what was, what you had to say. Didn't really know if we was kind of going to be talking about the letter or not. So we don't have any grievances.
I don't want to talk about the letter because that's
Yeah.
y'all's letter, but I
Right.
want to make it clear there. Yeah.
Yeah, we was just here just to hear what you have to say. From like Ms. Lorraine said, from the economic development standpoint and a historic Southside Neighborhood Association standpoint, we have to still continue to move on and, develop the community in a way that we know how and keep moving forward. Like she said, Whole Global was just a slice to what we have going on. So we was just here to kind of hear you out. It may have been a good idea, maybe if you could have got Mike Hoke on here.
We have Arthur. Arthur's representing Mike.
It would have been a good idea if you could have got Mike Hoke on here and that, we could hear him out and just see what he had to say. But, that's here or there. But we just wanted to hear what you have to say.
James,
I do have a question also. Go ahead, Ross.
let me say this. There was a term that Matt used early on to state that he wanted to call this meeting because he didn't want to be ambushed. So let me clear the air on that. We are big enough people to not to ambush anybody. That was not our plan, to ambush you, to let you know that we were going to serve you a letter of no confidence.
Mhm.
Our position was, we voted on it. That's our position, that we are of the mind of no confidence. But what we were going to do was meet with the city to see where they stand, because the way I see it is, it wasn't just the general contractor that put us to where we are now. It's a multiplicity things that have us where we are, thinking July and August of next year. So this is where I stand on it. So was it be the general contractor? You got a general contractor, that's good. It's more than just that that's putting us out just at the time. So what I am suggesting is that you, Matt, arrange a meeting with the 4 C's like we have always requested.
Yeah.
Sit around the table. Councilman, the mayor, they need to make time, because we think our project is just important as anything else. And we will send a letter of no confidence to you if that's what it takes, because at this point, nothing from nothing leaves nothing anyway. We've got nothing from you guys. It doesn't matter to me what excuses, what reason why we're at the point that where we're at. We want answers.
I understand, Ross.
And we should be where the chamber, whether Mike shows up or not, we should be able to sit down as a chamber, as a contractor, as a citizen of historic Southside with the city, because what we want to know is, why is it to the point that where if we're waiting until July, Big C, city, what do you have to say about this? We want to know what the city think about you. We want to know what the city thinks about this other delay, because we got the information from you guys that this is what's going to take. You guys told us in a meeting, but all of them wasn't there. So Councilman Nettles,
So
Councilman Nettles
you
said
referring to
whenever
city-
we
are you
have,
referring to the mayor and city council or city staff?
What I'm
Because city
saying is-
staff was there, but if you look at for council and mayor, I agree with you.
that's totally what I'm looking for. That's totally what I'm looking for, because right now, whether it be Martha or whether it be Stearns, maybe we're not getting the thing done. But what we need to do is, just like the mayor met with us this last time when we were up in arms, it's time.
Well, I will
It's
say
ti-
this, because we just got your text message today, Matt, that you wanted to do a meeting. So I don't think you would probably be able to get the mayor and Chris Nettles with the impromptu meeting for today for something to this caliber. I think if you want to include the mayor and Chris Nettles and Robert Stearns, we probably need to send out a notice and schedule a time where we all can meet, even if it's for the 4 people that Ross is suggesting, because I had to clear something off my schedule just to meet today because it was last minute. I mean, you sent us this message at 11 o'clock this morning.
Well, I agree. And the purpose of this meeting was to clear the air for you all. So this was intentional. I did invite clear the air in terms of on my end, based on what I was hearing, so that we can all be communicative without dragging this on tomorrow's meeting. Because I did see that y'all intended for it to be a brief meeting. Secondly, I can definitely and will coordinate a meeting with the 4th C. I've invited that 4th C here because I do believe in that as well. And so I don't want you all to judge me for not including the 4th C as I have. That should be more evidence that I'm on you all's side to figure out how we get this moving forward, not necessarily validating that there's no confidence in Whole Global during this process. So I don't want you all's frustration to be projected to us for the wrong reasons. We do bad enough on other things. I just want to do what we can, that we are held accountable to what we said we're doing, and not things that happen either in the past or things that's outside of our control, and then have blame on it.
Okay.
Stephen, I see your hand, and then I'll let Michelle.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Yeah, no, I raised my hand a second ago when Ross was talking. I just want to say I agree that we're getting a little bit sideways dwelling on the contractor. Hopefully we've corrected that mistake. As far as the overall timeline, we can't move faster than the city. We were able to finally get this thing under contract middle of last year. We got to work right away on plans and engineering. That was complete in January of this year. 11 months later, the city has yet to deliver permits. We can't go faster than the city.
Yeah, I understand, Stephen, but what I'm saying is we need to sit around the table and let the city tell us that. If we're in a quagmire here based upon the city, then the city need to say that. We don't know.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, that's fair. No, we agree. Yeah, we agree 1,000%.
Yeah, I think a meeting with this group with the city would be a good next step. I'm completely on board.
Okay, I just wanted
to had something to comment. Yeah,
I'm jumping in. I just wanted to jump in. First of all, Matt, I do think it was a good idea to get some communication going to clear the air. For me, it was helpful. I have not been on all the meetings, but I agree with everyone. We could go on and on and on here. I'm after how do we move forward? And I think Ross alluded to it with what he just said. My question is, and I hear it loud and clear, that the confidence it's not been there based on, as Lorraine said, you've been dealing with issues since 2019. And so the confidence is not there. We don't need to keep debating more and more about that. But here's my question to everyone. What will it take to restore that confidence? I think we have to have a clear understanding. And let's back up. Can that confidence be restored as you guys start to go to what's next? What will it take? Is it what Ross just alluded to, getting the city in, getting the understanding about how the delays have impacted on both sides, not just Hogue, but maybe the city? Are there other areas that have caused the issues? What will it take to be restored? I think that's the real key in terms of us communicating right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What are we meeting the city for again?
Well, one, that was stated with Ross, that's the 4th C, to discuss, one, so that we can all be on the same page. I thought that was
we need to be on the same page with what?
So, James, this was all of this, not only the project, but the timeline, I'm assuming, as to why there are delays.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I said we are going to meet with the city to discuss.
All of us.
Yeah,
so,
again, I'm asking, what are we meeting for?
James, I am suggesting that if Matt was serious enough about calling a meeting with us,
So
when all the players are not at the table,
so
do
Ross,
we're letting them know that they have no confidence with us. We
So-
want to know what the city has to say.
so Ross, I want to say this again. I invited the city. In fact, I texted Chris Nettles. He was scheduled to be on. He said he was available after 2. So I sent him the invitation. He did not respond. I want to say that one way to help me restore, I will work forward to restore trust in this process. But what I just heard you allude that I'm not trying to bring the city in, or so I just want to step back that I am actively including all 4 C's so that we can all communicate on this. Is that
No,
do you see
I'm
that or
not
no?
saying. Yeah, I'm not saying that you're not trying to include the city. You probably very well may have, but I think what you did is you did it in quick and in a hurry to try to find out what is our next move, and
No.
he just couldn't. Well, no, wait, hold up.
Yeah, okay.
Chris couldn't respond in time for that. He
Mhm.
couldn't respond to be on this, but it may not necessitate just a Google Meets. What I'm saying
No.
is we're to the point now that we're ready to sit down at the table and just kick you guys to the curb. But we're not going to do that without knowing what the city say. I don't want to
So-
Google Meet. I don't want to Google Meet. I want to sit
So-
face to face. I want to sit face to face with you to tell you that we have no more confidence in you. I want to sit face to face to tell the city we have no more confidence in you too, city, because you guys are all dragging your feet. So what I'm saying is, let's do this as men. You call it at the last minute. No, they can't be in it. No, they couldn't make it. I barely made it.
So one, there are more than men on this call. So I'm not using that example
But
anymore.
Matt, that
But
was
I
just
understand the spirit. I understand the spirit, and I understand the frustration. And so, Mr. Ross, we are including everyone on this so that we can move forward.
okay. So
And-
from this point on, from right this second, because we can go down this rabbit,
Mhm.
who's going to set up the meeting with the meeting with the city?
James, I'll take care of everything. And so what I wanted to do was clarify, because I did have a conversation with Arthur, and my original strategy was to include City, Robert Stearns on this call, but we wanted to talk to the community first, specifically with this meeting. I will set up a meeting to include the city with all of us on there.
Okay, that's fine. So we will look for your message.
And I want
the city
to, no, it's my meeting. I got you.
and
Go
the
ahead.
city and what when we meet with the city has no bearing on what we're doing. So we will take our time to meet with the city.
Gotcha. And we will meet in person. I don't mind meeting face to face at all either, for the record. Because
Okay.
I want y'all to tell me however you feel, but because we've met face to face before, and I haven't heard this language before. And so that's why I want us to make sure we are on a recording line so that we can keep track on what's going on, because when we talk face to face, I hear a different language.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Good deal. Well, I'll communicate with you all more.
Okay.
Thank you all. Y'all have a
All right.
good one.
Thanks everyone for joining. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.